You know what time it is! You know what time it is! E-S-E-L-E-S-E-L! And you know what underdogs is? It's a hungry dog!
And the second stick away, and the Eagles are alive! Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you! Let the celebration begin!
All right, everyone, and welcome to episode 58 of the Wingin It podcast. I'm your host today, Aleks. I'm here with my dudes, Andrew and Ali. Just as a reminder to everybody tuning in today, make sure that you are following us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Snail Mail, Pony Express. And if you want to see our beautiful faces and get some exclusive content, make sure you scoot on over to our YouTube page.
How's our MySpace coming along?
MySpace is coming along pretty well. Dude, we did a Facebook push one time, and that's like the most like awkward. You have like such like weird individuals that interface with us on Facebook.
Yeah, people who are on Medicare.
Yeah, it's like a very, very, very bizarre like demographic that we have. But Andrew, how we doing today, man? 3-0, heading into a division rival on one of our very few 1 o'clock games this year. How you feeling?
Overall, feel pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have to look back, but I think when we did our season prediction, I think I may have taken Washington to upset us this game. I don't know if I still feel that same way, but overall, yeah, I feel good. Division games are always tricky. You know, you really never know what to expect, dude. Last week, the Houston Texans like gave it to the Jaguars, so you never know what to expect with these division matchups.
The Texans have won 20 out of 25 games the last time they faced. Like, it is just one of those things. It is like the Tom Brady era Patriots against the Dolphins. They always split, right?
They have their number. And so, you know, we'll get into it, but like, you know, Terry McLaurin, that dude always eats against the Eagles. So, you know, I have my fears, but overall I'm feeling confident. Ali, how you feeling, man?
You know, I think you bring up a good point. Scary Terry is always gonna give us some of the business, if you will. But for the most part, I'm not too worried. Sam Howell, he had a pretty terrible game last week against the Bills. The Bills aren't generally a good rushing team, and they had their way with the Washington D line as well as the linebackers and secondary. So I look forward to a game where our offense continues to build on all of the work that it's been doing for the past 3 weeks. And continue to see some of that star firepower that we've been longing for since last season.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. There was a really big uproar. I mean, there's like a total revitalization going on in Washington right now. New owner. I think for like the first time in like several seasons, they're actually like selling season tickets again, and people are trying to get into the stadium, which is still absolutely god awful. We know there's like video clips of like sewage falling on people, railings falling over on Jalen Hurts and all of this. But people were really excited. A lot of people had expectations that the Commanders were going to be really good this year. Just to look at a stat line, and Ali brought this up to me in the green room today. Sam Howell only completed 19 of 29 passes, 179 yards. He threw 4 picks and was sacked. And I can't believe that this is true. 9 times. 9 times. Against the Bills defense. He's going to be in a world of trouble when he comes up against our defensive line.
Yeah, I think some of that comes from game script. And I think when you're down big and you're basically forced to throw, you're going to get sacked more and you're probably going to have more opportunities to throw interceptions because the defense knows what you're doing every play. They're going to completely abandon the run if they're down by multiple possessions. And Sam Howell is a guy who can run. And, you know, we talked about this last week. The Eagles hadn't really gotten too many sacks those first 2 weeks against Mac Jones and then Kirk Cousins. And then we went against Baker and somebody who can run a little bit, and we were able to get after him. So if we build a 2-possession lead, I think we might see a lot of the same thing that the Buffalo Bills did to Washington, putting a lot of pressure on Sam Howell. So
yeah, what do you think about Sam Howell, Ali?
Yeah, I mean the point that you made, Andrew, about teams getting down and having to throw. Frankly, that's what we've been doing for the past 3 weeks, right? Like The reason why Mac Jones was playing lights out against us because he was down 16 points. The reason why Kirk was playing lights out against us because he was down like 20 plus points. And the same thing
Yep.
last week as well with Baker. I think it's great. I think I said it on our group thread this morning. I love our defensive line. Frankly, I think it's the strength of this entire team. I love our run defense. I love how they're able to get after the quarterback. I was just on X right before we started this conversation. Aaron Donald has taken 158 snaps. He's got 14 quarterback pressures. Jalen Carter has taken 89 snaps and he's got 15 quarterback pressures. I think we've got all of the necessary elements to make Sam Howell's life a pretty terrible one on Sunday, and I'm excited to watch it.
Jalen Carter leads the entire league. He's he leads all defensive tackles in quarterback pressures. So just another added thing that we can we can say about Jalen Carter.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this like time slot this year? So we really haven't talked about it too much, and Drew, also we're not going to hold ourselves to any predictions that we gave several weeks ago. Like, this is different now, right? We see the team, we know who up we're against. Like, we don't need to reference back to that in week 16 saying, oh man, I said that we were going to have a dub here, but I think we might lose. So like, that's all out the window. I find it really bizarre, and I'm just like, I want your guys' perspective. I hate the 425 games. There's something about a 1 o'clock game. I'm at Lincoln Financial Field at 10 a.m. It's a cool, brisk fall morning, and we just don't have that anymore. It's going to be going into the nighttime, which means it's going to be colder in the harsher months. We have so many primetime games this year. Do you guys think that is this the price we pay for just being such a decent team and someone really exciting? I feel like the Chiefs aren't getting any more 425 games than we are. What do you guys think about the 1 o'clock schedules? There's only 2 or 3 games all season we play at 1.
Yeah, I frankly, I don't like the 1 o'clock schedule games. I think it's a testament to how good we are as a team that we warrant a primetime slot so that more of America can watch our team dominate the way that they've been dominating over the last 2 seasons. From a personal standpoint, I kind of like it to be able to sort of prime my palate, if you will, with those 1 o'clock games just to get me set up for an Eagles game. But no, I love the 425 games. I love the primetime games. And I hope that we get more of them next season.
Yeah, and Andrew, I'm going to give it to you. I will say I was wrong. I made an assumption the Chiefs only have one more 1 o'clock game for the rest of the season. So there probably is some correlation with how good you are into the later windows, America's game of the week. But what do you say, Drew?
Because, those West Coasters, if our games over here aren't at 4 o'clock, then they're going to have to start watching football at like 9 a.m. Overall, I have had an issue with the NFL's lack of 4 o'clock games. Probably more prevalent when we get to the bye weeks, but I always find it extremely frustrating when, those red zone watchers out there, you come across, you have 8-9 games in the 1 o'clock window, and then you have literally like 2 or 3 games that are being switched back and forth at 4 o'clock. So in my mind, I'm okay with more 4 o'clock games. And I do think, to your point, this does have a lot to do with the Eagles have so much star power, and it's a league of ratings, So, whereas when it starts to get a little bit darker earlier and it gets a little bit colder outside, and the 4 o'clock game starts and it's light out, but then as it gets darker outside, maybe my soul starts to feel a little darker. Maybe I start to get a little bit more worried about what's happening in the football game, which when it's daytime during an entire 1 o'clock game, maybe I don't feel that. So you might be onto something there, Alex. But overall, yeah, I mean, this is a testament to how talented and stacked this Eagles team is, and just trying to get as much viewership as possible.
Yeah, I love the 1 o'clock games because I can go home and watch the ends of the 425 games. I'm close enough to Lincoln Financial where I can do that, right? So like my whole day isn't ruined. On Sunday,
oh my God, Alex, how do you live with yourself? Just like, it's so. I want to play the world's smallest violin for you.
We have
so
like 20 weeks
for
of
me.
football. We have like
this is
20
what you
weeks
do.
of football, man.
It is difficult for me to watch 425 games because I'm at the link every single week watching in my club seats. Oh my God. My heart bleeds for you, Alex. My heart bleeds for you right now.
Thank you. I really appreciate this
sound effect.
I appreciate the sentiment because I agree with you. It is absolutely awful. I'm sitting there in my nice, comfy club seats and out there.
And I'm also so sorry about all the traffic that you have to experience to and from the game.
What do you guys think about the 9:30 slates that we have upcoming? It seems like the Jacksonville Jaguars are just like UK's team. Interestingly enough, it seems like they're always playing there. For the people on the West Coast, that's got to be really tough. It's at a 6:30 a.m. start time.
Oh, yeah.
9:30 a.m. here. What are you guys' thoughts about the early morning windows?
I mean, I used to live in Seattle. I loved getting up in the morning, having my breakfast, cup of coffee, 10 o'clock in the morning, turn on the TV, and I've got football right then and there. And the day would end at like 5:30, 5:45. Like that's when football would end for me on Sunday nights. It was pretty amazing. I am a little curious to see how they're going to execute this like Andy's Room VR thing that they've got going on.
Can't wait to see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like like a Toy Story animated version of the game that's going to be happening like in real time, right?
Yeah, they're going to, I guess, like superimpose their characters on Andy's toys, and they're gonna be having a football game. I think it's gonna stream on like Nickelodeon. So
starting the kids young, starting them off young, getting them hooked on the NFL.
I think it's cool, man. I think it's cool. All right, guys. So why don't we get into just like some predictions, things that we're worried about heading into this Sunday, and then we'll, like I said, we'll end it up with some score predictions. So Ali, where do you think our strong suits are? Where do you think we need to watch ourselves? What's your final score prediction?
So as I stated earlier, I think our strong suit really lies in our ability, the defensive line's ability to stop the run as well as get after the quarterback. Sam Howell got sacked 9 times last week. I expect that to continue with our ferocious defensive line. And I don't think Washington's run offense is really going to get anywhere quickly over the course of this game. Just looking at NFL stats right now, Washington's rush offense is actually, I think, one of the worst in the league, mid-tier to the worst. I don't expect Sam Howell to have a comfortable lead going into this. I think he's going to be pressured into throwing the football to try to get his team back into the game. Frankly, I think this is going to be a blowout game where our pass offense is going to continue to find its rhythm as it has been over the last 3 weeks. And we're going to see this game end at a comfortable 42-17 score.
Goodness,
I just don't see how this offense can really do anything against our defense, especially if we get off to a fast start, which we have been over the last 3 weeks, score-wise, not necessarily progression and rhythm-wise, but score-wise, we've been getting off to a much faster start than the other teams we've been playing.
Yeah, Washington is in basically the bottom half of every offensive statistical category right now. So they're 19th in points per game, scoring 19 points per game, 19th place, 19 points per game. Total yards per game, they're 21st. Passing yards per game, they're 19th. Rushing yards per game, like you were saying, Ali, they're 15th. So they're right there in the middle. They're averaging about 106 yards per game, while the Eagles are second in rushing in the entire league, averaging 186 yards a game. And then on the other side of the football, the Washington is 22nd in rushing yards allowed, and the Eagles are first defensively in rushing yards allowed. So I think we can really, again, handle this game pretty. I think we can handle this game pretty well in the trenches. Other than Terry McLaurin, there's nothing about this Washington offense that scares me a whole lot. On the defensive side, they also have a very strong defensive front. They have the other Sweat brother. Are Josh Sweat and Montrez Sweat, they're not related, are they? The Sweat Bros? The Sweaty Bros?
So.
the Sweaty Boys. And then Chase Young, they have a lot of studs, in the front of that defense. So again, if the Eagles are able to run again this week, that just goes to show you that nobody is going to be able to stop this run offense. So again, would like to see, I do want to see Dallas Goedert get some downfield looks this week. I think a lot of Dallas Goedert plays feel like they've been kind of more just like short intermediate passes. I'd like to see Dallas Goedert make a big play this week. So that's kind of like a bold prediction, if you will, is, maybe we see a downfield play by Goedert. But But yeah, I want to see us get after Sam Howell. I want to see us increase those sacks numbers because literally sacks are the only thing that Washington is beating us in. Right now they have 10 sacks on the season while the Eagles have 6. So maybe this will be Hassan Reddick's first sack of the year. He's long overdue.
He is. What's your score prediction, Andrew?
Score prediction, Eagles 34, Washington 20.
Okay. So my outlook's a little bit different. I do think this could be a little bit of a trap game. The personnel on the field doesn't scare me as much as the man that's going to be calling the offensive plays on the other side that totally ripped us up during the Super Bowl. Everyone knows Eric Bieniemy is going to be calling the plays for the Washington Commanders. I know the personnel isn't as great. This guy understands our scheme. He totally ripped us up in the Super Bowl last year, so I do think it's something we have to be conscious about. Again, I don't think the personnel is going to outnumber us. And I do think at the end of the day, we are going to win this game, but I do think coaching matters in a situation like this, especially off of a quarterback coming off of, his quote unquote breakout year. They got beat down absolutely brutally. He's probably going to come out with a chip on his shoulder, and it could be a little bit different. Reminds me a little bit last year of when the Commanders came into our house. We were undefeated, and we got our first L of the season from Taylor Heineke. So
we beat ourselves.
We did beat ourselves, and the biggest difference, and I was going to get to that, is we understood the holes that we had in our defense because they ran the ball on us, and we went out and got 2 big bodies, Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh, that very same week to build up. And I love this new thing that they're talking about the Eagles. It's a bunch of mass moving for the tush push, but on the defensive side. And we don't have that problem this year. Our run defense is absolutely phenomenal. And when they get past our first line, our second line guys, even up to our safety in Chalk Doc, Reed Blankenship, Ghost, whatever you want to call them, is getting to them. So I feel really confident about this, but I do think it's going to be a little bit of a closer game. I'm really interested in seeing how Jalen Hurts' pocket presence is going to be. He looked really good last week. He stood in there, but like you said, they are going up against a team that leads the NFL in sacks. Chase Young is an absolute beast. But I don't think he's going to be. I don't think he's going to be getting past Lane Johnson very frequently. So my score prediction is going to be Philadelphia 31. That has been my last 3-week score predictions at 31, and I'm going to say the Commanders 24. I'm going to keep it a little bit closer in that regard.
I just looked at the over-under, and it's at 43.5. So I think we all may have overshot a little bit. I think we might be giving maybe too much credit to Washington's ability to score. So we have them. I know, Alex, you and I took them in the 20s. So we might be disappointed in that regard, but won't be disappointed from an Eagles standpoint.
Hey guys, so really quick before we get into Swinging It, what are your thoughts on the media controversy around the brotherly shove, the tush push? There's actually been a few people, is it Chris Sims, that said, oh yeah, he would go headhunting for the quarterback and try to inflict an injury to make him regret doing it.
How about this? Why don't we go headhunting for Chris Sims? That dude is a jerk off.
I can't believe that he said that on the air and he doubled down on it and like kept going. You know what I mean? It's like he knows what he said is wrong. I just want to put in perspective, like, what if someone said that about Patrick Mahomes? They would get absolutely slaughtered in the media, but they're sharing this all over, social media and stuff. It's the amount of crying and whining because your personnel is different than our personnel is ridiculous. We don't cry because Justin Tucker can hit 60-yard field goals in his sleep. We don't cry because Tyreek Hill's really fast. They were drafted because of their athletic abilities. Crying over that is just absolutely ridiculous. Ali, what do you think about this whole situation?
So what's interesting about the tush push is it's been often related to when the extra point used to be kicked from the 2-yard line and it was an automatic. And everyone was like, oh, this is way too easy. The competition committee needs to take a look at this. And they made it more difficult because it was an automatic thing. Other teams have tried to do the brotherly shove without the same success that the Philadelphia Eagles have. My perspective is the reason we're able to do it so successfully is because our quarterback can squat 600 pounds. No other quarterback in this league is able to squat 600 pounds. So it is not a It is not a formation thing. It is not a scheme thing. This is pure athleticism. No one likes it because it looks ugly, but frankly, this is like smash mouth football. Our line, our players are stronger than yours, and we're going to push you off the line. And if you can stop it, great, go ahead and stop it. But if you want, you can also try to replicate it. And it's been shown and proven that not many people, not many teams are able to execute it as effectively as the Eagles have been. Chris Sims, I mean, honestly, he's like the village idiot in my mind, right? He's going to say what he says. So long as we all know that he's out there in the world, we ignore him, we make sure he doesn't play with scissors, I think we're going to be okay. But from the perspective of the controversy and the tush push, I think people are just upset because they can't stop it. But it's not an automatic thing because every team isn't able to do it because we've got the right personnel.
You know, people complained about the annexation of Puerto Rico in Little Giants, but I haven't seen that play get banned. That play's still good as gold. So, you know, people need to just stop complaining and just let things just be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we have a quarterback that can squat 600 pounds, and we have arguably the best offensive line in the league. So I can understand, A, why it's a play that's impossible to stop, and B, why other teams would get upset if they can't stop this play. The only negative to this play is that it hurts Jalen Hurts' rushing average because they run it so much, and he's just getting 1 yard per carry every time he does it, sometimes two. So, yeah, I think that even people like Chris Sims, these talking heads, these personalities that just want to be controversial, they want to get a reaction. Look, I get it. You know, it's like if you people need a villain, and usually the villain is Patrick Mahomes or LeBron James or the player who's viewed as like the champion. So the Eagles, we didn't win the championship last year. So in my mind, it's like you need to find something else to focus that energy on. So,
Yeah.
You know, let's keep on shoving it, baby.
All right. Let's get into Swingin' It. Andrew, after the music, explain how the game works.
Yep.
Swingin' It. Underdog picks for the week.
All right, another fun week of Swingin' It, boys and girls. So how does this fun game work? As always, you have to pick an underdog. The three of us, each pick our favorite underdog pick of the week, and then our guest or audience then also does the same thing. You don't get any points if the team covers the spread. You only get the points awarded if that team wins outright. So, for example, this week, Washington against Philadelphia. Washington is an 8.5 point underdog.
Woof.
If they cover that 8.5 points, which I don't think they're going to do, then if somebody picked Washington, they would be awarded 8.5 points, only if they win, not if they cover. So that's what makes this game so tricky. Your team has to win. I have not been very good. Looking at these standings so far, quick recap. Ali jumped out in front. You are now the front runner because you made that incredible Dallas losing to Arizona last week. I did not see that coming. So you got 12.5 points for that. Arizona was a 12.5 point underdog.
They're 14 this week.
That's the biggest win. 14. Wow. Well, that was the biggest win in Swingin' It history. Maybe that'll change this week if somebody else takes Arizona and they happen to win again. Josh Dobbs to the rescue, apparently. Aleks, you're in second. You're 3 for 3 on the year, which is so incredibly impressive. You took the Chargers last week, which were a measly
FanDuel
1.5.
loves me. My FanDuel account loves me this year.
FanDuel, they love me. Everyone loves me. So you got a 1.5 points last week, so you're at 9.5 on the season, a little bit behind Ali's 15. The audience, Birdman
sucks to suck, Aleks. Sucks to suck.
Well, Aleks, if you suck, then I don't even know what word can describe what I'm doing right now. The audience picked the Steelers, so Birdman, a great call last week with the Steelers, awarded 2.5 points. They're at 8.5 on the year, and then I picked Washington last week to beat the Bills. Yeah, major fart. So I'm at 2 points on the year, but look, we still have a long ways to go. Let's kick this week off. Week 4. We reached out to the audience. We needed your help. The audience has spoken. Aleks, who Who did our audience end up deciding on?
In typical Philadelphia Eagles fan base fashion, they picked the New England Patriots to beat the Dallas Cowboys. Of course. I mean, how are you not going to do it? There's no skin in the game for them. We need to actually think about like a punishment or something we need to do on the show to like actually have a little bit of like, some skin in the game here. But the New England Patriots as of right now are a 6.5-point underdog to the Dallas Cowboys, 426 game. So chalk it up to the audience to have Dallas be upset again. If they lose again, I will lose my mind. I will dedicate our entire podcast just to trashing the Cowboys because it will go viral.
All right. So 6.5 for the Patriots. That's a great pick. I am going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders to beat the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm sticking with the division game, storyline here. 5.5 points is solid. That's not gonna get me back into the hunt like right away, but at least it can at least precipitate some sort of forward movement in my score total. So I'm going to go with the Raiders. The Chargers are a team that are just they are one of the best teams at beating themselves. So I'm going to hope for some of that this week. Give me the Raiders, 5.5-point underdog against the Chargers. Ali. No, I'm sorry, Aleks.
Yeah, it's me.
Aleks, let's go to you first.
Yeah, so I'm probably going to take Ali's because one of our listeners DM'd me this, and I was absolutely shocked to see the team that dropped 70 points last week against a pretty stout Broncos defense is a 3-point underdog. So give me the Miami Dolphins to win, just win against the Buffalo Bills. I don't see it happening. Now, if you think about, the way that the odds makers does the spread, like the home team automatically gets 3 points. So Vegas is basically saying that this is a straight game, but the Dolphins are 3-point underdogs heading into Buffalo Sunday at 1:00. Dude, Tua, Tyreek, done.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
It could be a trap. Too good to be. If it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Yeah. All right, Ali, bring us home. Take it easy on us, will you?
Yeah, I'm going through this because you guys, heavy lies the crown at the top, right? Like I gotta wait until all of you pick your picks. I was looking at the New Orleans Saints and Tampa Bay game because I still haven't heard anything as far as the Derek Carr injury. But if you guys were watching the Saints Packers game last week, the Saints were driving up and down pretty easily until Derek Carr got injured, and then Jameis Winston, aka the greatest quarterback in NFL history.
I love that guy so much, man.
Just eating W's.
When they're zooming in on his face, he's just so animated. He's just so funny, man. I just love that guy. Jeez.
Against the team that we just mollywopped, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that looks pretty interesting. However, as I continue to scroll down on FanDuel, I think I have to take it. Give me the Arizona Cardinals at the San Francisco 49ers, a +14 underdog.
You said the word mollywopped. If you hit this, that's what I'm going to call a good old-fashioned ollywop.
I like it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thanks. Honestly, if I get this, I'm okay with like just not picking Swingin It for the rest of the season.
Yeah, just take the rest of the year off.
Just try to catch up. So give me the Arizona Cardinals +14 against the San Francisco 49ers.
A lot of division games this week. So all three of us took division games, and Ali, even when you were looking at the Buccaneers Saints, that's another division game. So anything can truly happen. Dude, if the Cardinals beat the 49ers, my goodness, just give this man the crown. Seriously. Any final thoughts before we get the heck out of here?
No, I mean, I'm just excited. Division game. Hopefully the Eagles can go 4-0. I'll be at the link, so I'm really excited. If anyone's going to be down at the stadium, make sure you DM the wingingit.pod Instagram page, and we could probably find some time to meet up. But yeah, man, really excited. Weather looking like it's going to be good this weekend. We've got a ton of rain, so I'm excited to head down to the link and hopefully see us go 4-0. All right, all. Well, thank you so much for winging it with us today, and we will talk to you soon.
Go Birds!